Like Indie Showcase. It's all about just like the best wrestlers in Texas, right? So New Texas, Wrestle Rave, Baracho Pro, everybody in between, like they're there to show out, to show like they're the best, right? Well, with Elimination Warfare, we have the biggest opportunity with the most people to make the most memorable moment. And to be honest, like everybody in that match, they all had a reason to want to show out and want to be the best, right? Whether you have, me and Izzy or Dream Team, Meat Market, Rottweiler Jay Davis, that boy's a freak of nature. So like when you have all of these like combustible elements, dare I say, just like top guys of like the Houston scene, like there's no way that things can't go great. And of course, me and Izzy are both vying for that, best in Texas type of moniker.
And we are back with our first episode this week on the Project Get to Know podcast. My name is Emmanuel, and if you are watching this episode, whether it's shared by our guest this week, or if the algorithm of the streaming platform of your choice shows up in your feed, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on the streaming platform of your choice. And with us this week is... Well, let's call him Steven, because you had different names, but Stephen Wolf is the one that stuck by for quite some time, and it's a nice privilege to get to really have this conversation with you.
I don't know, privilege is all mine, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, because you started off in Illinois, so like, of course, Texas. This is a very much a Texas-centric wrestling podcast with the interviews. What's the scene like in Illinois when you started training?
Yeah, so when I started training, the scene was really like on fire. So like you had top guys like Trevor Lee, ACH, Sammy Callahan, Moose was also up there, Brody King as well. I really started at Dreamwave Wrestling, which I'm lucky enough to still be wrestling for them. Some of the other companies that I worked with at that time, really coming up, was more like AAW, Freelance Wrestling. Both of those are going to be in Chicago. And then, of course, like St. Louis Anarchy, Glory Pro, been able to hold a couple titles on those respectively. And yeah, really just trying to make my name out there, trying to do the best I can with that.
Of course, like the biggest figure is, of course, the CM Punks of the world. How much of his impact in the scene, like, at least gave you an exposure to what's the bigger picture in Illinois?
Absolutely, man. I mean, growing up in Illinois, CM Punk was like the guy, right? Like you couldn't go to an indie show without seeing somebody set up in the corner and running up and hitting the knee, right? But like I think what CM Punk really did for just like not just like the Midwest scene, but like guys that are like our size, best way to put it, is like show that like even though we aren't like the strongest or anything like that, like we can still go out there and entertain everybody. We just got to be the best at what we do, and that's exactly what he went out to do. So it's kind of like, it's cool to see like, oh, out of nowhere, small indie guy that can be the biggest name in like the biggest company. It's like, okay, or biggest name in really any company he's at. So yeah, it gives hope. It really what it does.
Being trained by Tracy Smothers and with AR Foxx, because they're high flyers too. AR Foxx is probably the more prevalent guy doing the high flying, high risk maneuvers. How much of their like influence kind of honed you and set up your move set down the line as you're trying to figure out your identity as a wrestler?
So one of the things that people don't really realize, well, actually, let me go first with Tracy, because he was the original. He really very much taught me to kind of like put myself out there more. It was cool because he used to call me like the drop kick kid, because like I throw really nice drop kicks and like I could do it from day one. So that was kind of like my thing. And obviously when you like watch his like matches later in his life, he's very much like rigid, a little bit not exactly fluid. It's not exactly wrestling bears anymore, right?
Yeah.
But still the same way he like set stuff up, or like his character stuff, talking and stuff. He was just hilarious, and like everything he said like in the ring, even like now, I still like when I'm in there, I'll just jaw jack and say like whatever, because like I just kind of picked that up from Tracy. And when it comes to AR Fox, like he really helped me kind of like solidify like like move sets and stuff like that. Like people don't realize, like they see AR Fox and they see like a human highlight reel, like, oh my gosh, this guy can do like everything. But really, he's so smart when it comes to wrestling and like what makes wrestling tick and like what makes it make sense. A lot of the times it's funny because like he'll break his own rules, but like the way he teaches, it's very much like the TV style of like, oh hey, this is what you gotta do, this is what you gotta do. Of course, he's like, hey guys, let's try out this crazy shit. But of course, he's very much like very oriented in like what makes good wrestling. And I feel like that's something that doesn't really get talked about enough at the WWA four down in Atlanta.
Because I think, because what's nice, because I remember her even before AEW, like his time in Lucha Underground, he kind of set the pace for a lot of
Insane.
the high flyers. And like
Yep.
seeing the matches in Lucha Underground, that made me realize like there is a possibility to have these high flyers being back in relevance, because like we're seeing like the technicals, of course, that will always be part of the business, but to see like an AR Fox breakout and seeing a lot of the guys after him doing those high flying maneuvers, he kind of set the tone for everyone else to do that again.
Like I love Lucha. Lucha Underground is very much like what I based my style off of because like I was just obsessed with it.
A kill shot match was amazing. That I always, whenever I find it on YouTube, whenever it's on a suggested video, AR Fox, it was AR Fox and kill shot. I'm like, that's like the tone for every other show after that, because there is always an homage or a tribute to that match one way or another, and seeing like, okay, and now AEW is glad to have him because now he's setting the pace for everyone else with the luchadors and with the Darby Allens of the world to know that, okay, there is someone who started being the high flyer, and AR Fox is one of those guys who can help out within AEW.
Absolutely. And not exactly even like a lucha name that's like lucha libre, like from like Mexican descent. It's like actually like someone American that can do the high flying stuff.
But for you, moving out into Texas and knowing that it's a different state, it's a different scene altogether, how did you adapt to not only just like the style of wrestling, but the fandom surrounding that state when you started to really make your name out there in Texas?
So the best way I can kind of describe it, when I first moved down to Texas, I feel like even though it's, you know, it was, I think it's 2022 when I moved here, 2023, no, 2022. Um, Very much I could tell the difference between like the Chicago style and the Texas style. So Chicago is more like fireworks and intensity and stuff like that. Whereas down here in Texas, it was more so about like storytelling, fundamentals, moments, and stuff like that. You definitely got that in Chicago, but it's very much more prevalent here in Texas, like character wise and all that stuff. Like you could have banger, 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 banger match, right? But here in Texas, you have different things like, you know, you have like the Eighth Day that are doing their gimmick. You have, you know, the Wind Dragon doing his thing, and unfortunately, like Dream Team, but like they're
Yeah,
doing their thing and they're
we'll
unique
talk
in their
about that
sense.
later. Yeah.
We don't have to. It's
Do you
fine.
remember your
We don't have to. It's
debut?
fine.
Do you remember your
My
debut
debut,
in
yep.
Texas?
Y- Yeah. So my debut in Texas was it? Oh, yep. It was me and Mysterious Q at New Texas 25 Tigers, if I remember correct. Actually, that's a lie. That was when I moved down to Texas. But my original Texas debut was with AAW when they came to Austin, Texas. And my first match was me, Paco versus Paco Gonzalez versus Kurt Stallion in a triple threat match. It's
I don't even
somewhere,
know what.
it's like 2016, 17 maybe, but I remember we
Yeah.
made the 20-hour drive down and just made it work. So that was my actual
Yeah,
Texas
I
debut.
forgot about Paco. It's been a while. I have to find YouTube matches with him, because like, especially because 2016, of course, like you're still figuring out like, okay, like when when was that moment for you to say, you know what, I'll plant my flag in Texas and doing it more more involved than what you're doing things in Illinois?
So I wouldn't necessarily say that it was like a plant the flag type of moment. I'm very much the person that like no matter where I'm at, I want to be the best and I want to be able to make the company that I'm working for the best. So that means
Okay.
like whatever you need, like the matches, I got it. Promos, anything. I want to be involved as much as possible. And I feel like, unfortunately, when I was coming up in Chicago, because I was like a younger guy and like all these names, this was before like AEW came through. So like literally, like the AEW roster
Yeah.
was the AEW roster. Excuse me. And so it was hard for me to kind of like really get my footing and like really break through that door. But when I moved down here to Texas, things were wildly different. I was about, I want to say like 8, 9 years in the business at this point in time. I've done Evolve, I've traveled to Germany, I've done all these different things. So now I'm actually in the position to be like, okay, I'm the guy here, and I'm going to make sure that I am the guy here. And I'm going to let everybody know the reason why I'm the guy, you know? So it's very much like, I don't care where my flag's planted. It could be in Illinois, Texas, UK. It could be in, I don't know, like Brazil. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to make sure that people realize, like, I'm the guy.
Because you traveled, you mentioned Germany, and I think the one highlight that I've seen you on socials is with RevPro, and you know who the big
Mhm,
guys are, the Will Ospreys of the
mhm,
world. Let's do your first run because it is just a couple of weeks, and
mhm,
how much of the promotion has really placed their trust in you within that 2 week span while you're in the UK.
mhm. Man, I got really lucky really fast with Andy Quilden. Shout out Andy over at Rev Pro. My first match at Rev Pro, my debut, it was for the British Cruiserweight Championship. It was
Wow, right,
me
right,
versus
frying pan.
right off the jump. It was me versus Leon Slater. So like that in itself is like a match, right? And of course, this was like
Yeah.
before he like blew up. So like he was still trying to be like, yo, this is all the shit that I can do. And naturally, me coming in, I'm like, no, this is all the shit that I can do. And like it was a great match. Like, yeah, he was like 19 at the time. I'm like, oh fuck off, dude. You're so good. It's like it's
No, wait,
insane.
what? He's not
Yeah, at the time
old.
he was like, yeah, he
Wow.
like at the time he was like 19. I think he might be
Jeez.
20,
Okay, good,
21
good.
now, but like
It blew my mind.
yeah, but like it's really cool because like even like the UK fans over there, they're completely different from American fans. Like you see it on TV all the time, but like it's legit. Even at indie shows, like they sing. Like they do chants every now and again, but it's really singing. I remember I still have a clip of it. It was the coolest thing ever. Uh, like I made my entrance. Leon made his. Like match was about to start, and then the crowd just starts singing "She Wolf" by Shakira, but instead of there's a she wolf in the closet. It's there's a Steve Wolf in the closet. And just like
Wow.
doing that and like the whole crowd like howled at the same time. I did it with them. I was like, literally, it was like the first like 2 minutes, and I was just like, I like it here. This is good. This is real good. All right. It definitely made me realize like, oh, UK wrestling is vastly different from American.
In what way is it like the organics of how a show is run in the UK? Like, what's the difference like between the US and seeing stuff in the UK?
Mhm. So like running the shows is like relatively the same. However, in the UK, there's a lot of shows that run very often. So like Rev Pro, for example, they'll run every weekend or every other weekend. While in
Okay.
American Indies, like New Texas, for example, we run Austin monthly, but like Houston, like bi-monthly. So there's a lot more work when it comes to the UK. Now, when it comes to like the matches and stuff like that, I've realized like where it's kind of like the same thing, where I said where Chicago is more fireworks and Texas is more like storytelling based. Where in the UK, it's like a mixture of the two, where it's like it's fireworks, storytelling, but it's very much more like that Japanese style of like competitive professional wrestling.
And it's more fast
And
paced.
like,
This what it looks like. Yeah, it's more. I wouldn't say it's like fast paced, but rather like it's intense. Let's just say that because
it,
I've been watching
yes,
some shows from RevPro. It's like hard hitting. It's like it is like strong style in a sense where there is impact, but you sense there is a story, but the impact would jump out of nowhere and like
yes.
keep the match going if that's the case.
And all the guys over there, like, are insanely good, like insanely good. So like it was definitely great to kind of like cut it up with them. And then my second match there was me versus Connor Mills. And yeah, that's strong style right there. Connor Mills will mess you up. But like, no, he's a great guy. Like afterwards we had a couple beers together, actually said like, all right, cool, yeah, like, you're all right. You knocked me out, but like whatever, it's fine. He stomped on my face.
You're like half dazed. You're like, all right, I'll get a pint. All right, we're good to go. Just walk it off.
Like, oh, pour me a drink. Why are you talking to the wall? What? Just stuff like that, you know.
Because your second run was kind of nice too, because it lasted longer in a couple of months. And
Hmm.
knowing that yeah, you had a Steve Wolf chant out of nowhere. But within those couple of months, and when you revisit RevPro during that time, and seeing that now they're emphasizing you more as a competitor there for that span of time, like run us through that moment that lasted for those couple of months in the UK.
So when I came back, I actually came back to a really warm reception, surprising. Like, I guess
Oh.
surprisingly to me because like I just don't think of it too much. But like the crowd remembered me, they loved me, all that stuff. My first match was against the then cruiserweight champion Will Cavens, and whooped his ass, pinned him 1, 2, 3 clean in the middle of the ring. You know how it is. Um, and it went really, really well. And like I feel like just the energy there at Rev Pro, it made me go, okay, like I'm a really good wrestler, but I want to be great. And this is where I can be great at. And so after wrestling Cavens, I went on to wrestle like Robbie X a few times from New Japan Super
Wow.
Junior. Yeah, that was really fucking cool. Really cool. Really cool. And then actually worked with them in a triple threat match for the title. Didn't get it, but you know, it is what it is. And then I was able to wrestle like a lot of other guys like, oh my gosh, Leon Cage. He is like a young guy in the UK. He will be the next big thing when it comes to high flying wrestling and stuff like that. He's got
Mhm.
such a good head on his shoulders. He's the nicest kid in the world. He calls me Unk, which kind of really pisses me off. But like other than that, Leon Cage, like
He
he
acknowledges
is
you. That's what it means.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But like Leon Cage is very much like the future of high flying wrestling in general, honestly. Like, dude is so good, and he's again so young, and it's like, man, dude, your future is like insanely about to skyrocket. It's insane. He just like came back from a broken foot, and like he's still doing all the insane stuff that he does. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right.
I've had X on before, and we talked about his side with superiority complex, and we're going to talk about both runs with what you've done with him in Inspire and in New Texas. How did superiority complex came to be during your run with Inspire?
So it came to be that X and I obviously we are very similar in like our styles, like even just like the way we move in the ring, we're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that we had a match, but oh boy decided that he wanted to cheat, and I wasn't about to have that, so it was a rematch, and then got disqualified, and then so we just basically went to like a best of 7 series, and of course it was even, so we ended up having a triple threat, and we realized that like we just work better as a team than we do separately. And
Right.
because of Twin Dragon Connection championships, they can be defended separately. We might as well win them together so we can both be champions separately, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where like we didn't really get along too much, but I feel like I was kind of rubbing off on X's and he was rubbing off on me, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
we just started to really like gel and like come together as a tag team. And it was like really special. And then we won those belts. We were, honestly, like humble as possible. We were the best inspired Twin Dragon Connection tag team champions of all time.
Right.
Like, especially within the last like 5 to 10 years, like we were the guys, right? And so things went well until he tried to challenge me for my new Texas Heavyweight Championship. I wasn't about to have that because that's kind of disrespectful because you're supposed to be my friend. And so that's when I was said, you know what, we're done. Like, screw it. You trying to stab me in the back? I don't care anymore, bro. Like, we're not gonna be friends after this. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
People didn't like it, but like, whatever. I still had Dream Team with me. I didn't need Exodus. I had my own thing, and I had my championship, my world championship. I don't care about anything else. Like, that's me.
Yeah.
And so we had that. It was going well, and then of course we broke up. Things didn't really go too great. Then I stopped working for Inspire, transferred over. Really, like when Inspire AD ended, that's when I felt like Superiority Complex ended. It was kind of the end of an era. Okay, it's a new thing, good to go. Like just move on, right? And then you know, at one point in time, we were brothers, and I'm glad that he also feels the same way. Like brothers fight, but at the end of the day, like we still got each other's backs, and I just
Okay.
appreciate him for it.
When you're running Inspire too, because you did had a match with each other and at that time, and to know that, okay, you know the end is coming with the Twin Dragon Connection championships, and to face each other during that time. Was there any love lost, or you know that at the end of the day, there's still respect in the ring at the end of it, and just saying that, okay, we've done our part. Twin Dragon Connections are going to be out of your hands, and moving on to different things in your career.
Mhm. No love lost because I mean I don't really consider myself a tag team wrestler. I consider myself a singles wrestler. Ironically, I've been
Right.
in a lot of tag teams over my career. I've won a lot of tag team championships, but I never really saw myself as a tag team wrestler. So
Okay.
when X and I split up, I didn't really feel bad about it because I knew that I still had my back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know Exodus was out doing his thing in like Dallas and stuff like that. So yeah, we were good.
From there, you have the New Texas Pro Championship during that run, and you've had a lengthy run too. I think it's right around like 400. No, I have to double check. I don't want to
400 plus.
but it had
400 plus.
400. Okay, 400 plus. There you go. I knew it was 400, anyways. But to have that run as a New Texas Pro, because you've had a lot of time to defend it, and to know that you are that face of New Texas. What was that like, having that length of a run to defend that title?
It was nice, man. Like I really felt like I was given an opportunity to succeed. We were like in a weird spot, just like with transitions and stuff like that. But when there's, when you're like just riding the wave. Sorry, I got a dog running underneath me here. But like when the waves are crashing back and forth on the boat, like you need somebody that's going to be able to steer those choppy waters, right? And I have no problem taking up the
Right.
mantle as captain. I have no problem doing that. No problem being like, hey, listen, we may not have, BK or Roxy or anybody like that, but don't worry because you still have Stephen Wolf. I'm still going to make this
Yeah.
happen. And,
Because
again, I say humbly, we've had the best ticket sales that we've ever had, and that's off the cuff of me. So it sounds bad, but like it sounds arrogant, but like it's just facts are facts.
there's proof, and there's already you already put in the work to make your fate to make it relevant, to make New Texas into relevancy from where it was. And because I was thinking, because the one title defense that I enjoyed was with Kylie Ray. There is a lot on the line, and Kylie Ray has her experience all over the nation, all over the world. But for you to defend that title and knowing that, okay, I can do this, I'll defend this to the ends of the earth, like to have that match
Mhm.
in Kyle Buda, sorry, in Buda. What was that like, defending that title with someone who has that experience in the
And honestly, being able to wrestle Kylie was great because her and I wrestled years ago when we were in the Midwest. Because obviously she's like,
ring?
you know, the Chicago sweetheart, right? We wrestled like in a couple like scramble matches, like nothing crazy, but being able to stand across the ring from Smiley Kylie, it was great. But like, I don't care if it was her or her newborn child. I was gonna whoop ass and take my championship, respectfully, of course. But like I love Kylie. Being able to wrestle her was great. I hope nothing but success for like her and her family with, baby number two on the way.
Yeah.
But, I don't care how many kids you have. I'm like Michael Jordan with that when it comes to my championship. You know what I mean? Fuck them kids.
What is your most memorable title defense that you've had as New Texas Pro Champion?
As new Texas Pro champion, my favorite title defense. That's a hard one because I feel like I've been really beneficial to work with a lot of guys. I'd say my match, me against Calvin Tankman, was probably one of my favorite ones because again,
Oh, I
He's
remember
a
that. That one's
Midwest
fun.
guy.
That one's fun.
He's a Midwest guy, and like we've known each other for a very, 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 very long time. So being able to chop it up with him, and he's a big motherfucker, but we were able to make some magic happen. It was a lot of fun. The Premier Arena is so hot. And trying to pick up somebody that big is so difficult, but like the energy from the crowd and stuff like that, oh,
You feed off
it
of it.
made yeah, you feed real off it, man. It's great.
Within that run, and especially, we are going to bring up the dream team for this reason. X came back with with the New Texas Tag Team titles.
Yes.
And before we even run through that match and seeing X one more time and being back in the tag divisions and winning it too, which is probably the more of a feat. What is this run different to X when you worked with him in Inspire?
I feel like this run is different because we're both grown up. We're both mature now. When we first started tagging, he was an asshole. And then I turned into an asshole. But now we both have that mutual respect
Cancel
of
each other out.
well, honestly, yeah, that's
Canceled
exactly
out.
what it is. We like cancel each other out. Like he knows my ego, I know his. We're the only two people that
Right.
can put each other in check. And so like being able to tag with him again, like I said, like I don't consider myself a tag team wrestler, but I
Right.
consider X my tag team partner for more than just the obvious reasons, you know. Um,
Yeah.
no, being able to team with him again is something special. And I feel like we're gonna really pull something out this time. Definitely, definitely. But like, yeah, seeing him in that match, like coming down, hearing his music play, dude, I was about to tap. I was like that close. I was like, I'm
What?
2-on-1.
You're gonna leave?
I'm not gonna lie. I was so close. I was like, bro, I'm like, this might be it. Like, and then I heard the music and I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And then he just reaches out for the tag. I was like, you've got to be fucked. Screw it, let's go. And I was like, I just need a little bit more. And then my boy
Even if
came
you
through
just
for
touch the
me.
apron, you're like, I am nope. All right, I guess I'm tagging with X now.
Bro, yeah, basically. Like, I can't even, like, it was like middle of the ring, no rope, nobody can break it for me. I'm done. And that was the hardest Boston crowd I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh my
And dude,
god.
I'm so mad because, like, I train Dream Team, and I've always told them, like, you hit as hard as you can, no matter what. I don't care how big he is, how small he is.
Take him
They
down.
rocked me so hard. Oh my God, I trained them too well. They whooped my ass, and I was like, damn. But I gave it back to them, so it's okay. It's all right. But man, like, I trained them too well.
Because I was gonna ask this because I think you guys are basically like different regions and styles of wrestling. How do you guys communicate like as a tag team? Because I know what are some ways for you guys to know how to communicate? Because I know it's two different styles, but also like you are as a tag team. Like, how do you guys find ways to communicate with each other as a tag team? And you guys are singles
It's
wrestlers on its own too.
Yeah, so it's really cool because like since we do mesh so well together, and we've worked each other an insane amount of times, right?
Right.
Because of that, like he knows my moves, I know his moves. We'll talk, text, send memes and stuff like that together, like send clips of like wrestling stuff and whatnot. But because of the fact that we gel so well together, like we'll get to the show and be like, "Hey, bro, I was thinking about this. Oh, bro, I was thinking about this. Well, what if we do this? Let's do it." And then like, we just call the audible during the match and then go for it. And like, it it's surprisingly easy to gel with X. It is yeah, it's like a hot knife through butter. It's just easy, easy.
And you guys know each other well enough to know that it's like finishing each other's sentences. That's how I see it.
That's really what it is, and that's what happens half the time whenever we're working too. Because I'm like,
Who's
no,
gonna
X,
finish
this.
first?
Oh, literally, literally. He's like, oh, that's
Because
not
I
bad. I'll
know
be like, all right, yeah, I fucked that up. No, you're good.
you're
Continue,
done. It's
continue.
like I'm done. Move it over. But because I think part of what you're doing, and you're wearing the shirt, PWI 500 came about
Yeah.
because like the 200s is very very big, and it's like to have the work that you're doing for someone from who's had a publishing arm in the wrestling industry for quite some time, and you are 292. And what was that like for all the hard work for someone to notice to say, okay, you are placed in this list that you are a number in the PWI 500?
Man, it's honestly, it's really cool to see. I know a lot of times, especially with like a lot of wrestlers, they very much feel like what they're doing or what they're saying isn't like seen or heard because like obviously social media is like you see a new thing every 5 seconds, so kind of goes under the
Right.
waves and stuff like that, right? But being able to see like the PWI, obviously, like yeah, it's a list, but like it's still a cool list to be a part of, right? It's
Mm,
still like, oh, hey, people see your accomplishments, your acumen, like they see like how good you are. And if you think about it, there's easily over 10,000 wrestlers in America alone. So being able to be in the top 300 of those wrestlers is phenomenal. It's amazing. Now, with that being said, like that's the highest number that I ever want to have for the rest of my career because I feel like I can do better than top 300. I can be the top 200, top 100.
right.
And now that is the goal for next year.
I think one of the things that's nice too is seeing the big leagues in AEW and in ROH.
Mhm.
To see that bigger picture, and you've had some matches, whether it is a singles match or you're tag teaming with Danny O'Brien out of all people, which is kind of like
Mhm.
that's kind of funny, but it's cool at the same time. But to see
Hey,
the big
don't
leagues
make
and
fun of the light skinned legends now. That's what we are. That's our tag team. The light skinned
Hey, I
legends.
said corrected. I said corrected. But to have the picture of seeing in the big leagues, how hungry are you to really drive in to be in the card, whether it is an AEW or an ROH,
Mhm.
when they give you the call when that happens?
Mhm. Man, I it's the feeling of being in the ring is something that's just like insane, right? It's hard to fathom that I've been able to do this 11 years and be in a wrestling ring and people come see me, right? But when it comes to like AEW, when it comes to Ring of Honor, you're sitting in the middle of an arena. Like there's
Mm.
hundreds of people around, like hundreds of people on one side, hundreds of people on the other, like just thousands everywhere. And I remember me and Danny were sitting in the ring, and this was I think, like the third time that I've wrestled actually for like AEW, Ring of Honor, and things like that. Um, and I remember just telling him, I'm like, this is it. This is what we want to be. This is where we
Mm.
are. Don't forget this because this will come back and this will be a constant for both of us. We just got to make sure we do the best we can right now and do our thing because we deserve to be here. So like being able to do that, have the match, me and Danny actually do a really great job of it. Like that made me go, hell yeah. We were like, I don't know, I can't talk for Danny, but like it made me realize like, yeah, I'm born for this. Like, yeah, I'm
Uh,
nervous, but like pressure makes diamonds,
yeah, because I
and
think
it was really cool.
have you ever had like advice from like the talent, whether it's like have you ever approached to someone from like your time with AEW and ROH? Do you ever sought for advice, or you're like, I'm just gonna do my part. I know what to do in the match that I'm in. Like, did you ever have like people to go to in the locker room there, or you're just like, I'm just gonna do my job, keep my head in, and just keep moving forward with the match that you're on?
A little bit A, a little bit of B, right? So, um, obviously, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do everything I can. Like, I'm asking questions to everybody that's running like the extras and stuff like that. You need this, you need that. What can I do? But when it comes to like matches and stuff, once we do get told we have a match, all right, cool. Like, yeah, I'm talking to everybody in the locker room that I can. Like,
Okay, that's good.
I'll talk to Jerry Lynn for a little bit, kind of pick his brain on stuff. I'll talk to like the infantry, like Cap Sean Dean, he's the man. Carly Bravo, help me out. Shane Taylor, even like all these different guys that just like really will take the time and help you out. Like that's one of the
That's
biggest
good.
things that I found like doing extra work with like AEW and Ring of Honor. Like they want you to talk to talent. They want you to figure out what to do. Like they just want you to be set up for success. Like that's like the biggest thing. And so I try to make the most out of that opportunity, talk to as many people as I can and make them realize like, oh hey, I'm Stephen Wolf. Like, please remember me.
I'm still here. What's like the advice that stood out to you from the locker room?
That I don't want to put the person's name out there because like they just really
No,
helped
no,
me a
just,
lot.
it doesn't matter who,
But
but like, what's the advice? Yeah.
yeah, it was more just like it's not a matter of if but when with me, and I just got to keep doing exactly what I'm doing, except just keep ramping it up more and more and more, and make it so you cannot be ignored.
It's just the matter of like how many eyes are on you and having that notice and to look into like, okay, if this guy's gonna be one of the top guys over whether it's all elite or in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and it's like it's always about giving 100%, right? It doesn't matter if you're
Mm.
like in the you know like in the auditorium or like in the stadium for like Houston, or you're in the Premier Arena, right? Always give 100% because all it takes is like one person to see one 10-second clip of you and going, who's that guy? Or, don't worry about it.
Mm.
Like, it's that simple. So you have to be able to be on 100%, 100% of the time.
We'll do goals later on, but I should have brought this up with Elimination Warfare is probably one of my matches of this year in the indie showcase. And oh, he's looking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Sorry.
so busy.
This is
He's like,
this is
attention, please.
Oliver. That's literally what he is. I've been petting him this entire time. So yeah. Your buddy.
We'll let him have his camera time. But one of the matches
There
of
you
the
go.
year for me was Elimination Warfare in indie showcase. And what I love about this is everyone was doing their part. It started with you and Izzy, and then everyone did their part with Rush Hour, with the meat market, and it went back to you guys to go through the motions of going through that elimination warfare. What was it like for not only you, but the people who you are working with down the line to make that match really spectacular in the indie
Mhm.
showcase?
Yeah, man. Like Indie Showcase. It's all about just like the best wrestlers in Texas, right? So New
Mm.
Texas, Wrestle Rave, Baracho Pro, everybody in between, like they're there to show out, to show like they're the best, right? Well, with
Right.
Elimination Warfare, we have the biggest opportunity with the most people to make the most memorable moment. And
Yeah.
to be honest, like everybody in that match, they all had a reason to want to show out and want to be the best, right? Whether you have, me and Izzy or Dream Team, Meat Market, Rottweiler J Davis. That boy's a freak of nature. So like
Mm-hmm.
when you have all these like combustible elements and dare I say just like top guys of like the Houston scene, like there's no way that things can't go great. And of course, me and Izzy are both vying for that, best in Texas type of moniker.
Yeah.
And we still haven't had our singles match yet. We had one 3 years ago. I beat him.
Mm.
So yeah, just waiting on that so we can see who really is the best in Texas.
Oh, that Lone Star title's clawing, and you're chomping at the bit.
I mean, to be fair, if we really think about it, I have won the New Texas Pro World Championship. I am now a tag team champion. And I did pin the women's champion in an open challenge. Didn't win the belt because of reasons, but but I have beaten every major champion or have held every championship except for the Lone Star Championship.
Yeah, it's
So I
gonna
need
come.
one
I
more
think it's gonna
to
come
be the
too.
first
And
the first real Grand Slam champion because JJ Blake, you ain't do nothing with the women's championship. So eh.
oh my, and you're killing it. And it doesn't matter if it's New Texas or wherever you're at, whether it's it's an inspire if you do if they come knocking and call you back, but wherever you're at in your scene, you're always killing it. Which I'm gonna ask,
Thank you.
and we only have how many months in we have like less than 2 months in the year, and so there is still 2 months in the year, and there is time for you to make those goals in 2025. What are some of those things that you want to cross off your list for the rest of the year?
Well, luckily, I've my schedule's pretty busy, so I know what I'm doing for the majority of the rest of the year. However, one thing that I really would like to do is I really want to wrestle in Canada before the end of the year. I have some weekends open, and I'd love, love, love to wrestle in Canada. It's another country that I've never been to yet, never wrestled in, and yeah, if there's any Canadian promotions watching, please, please bring the leader of the pack.
Because I was thinking like it's the Commonwealth. It's a Commonwealth of the British Empire, so the scene might be similar when it comes to Canada.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, that's the
Is
goal is I want to be able to wrestle in Canada by the end of the year.
That's good. And like if Maple Leaf comes calling, oh, and even Mystery Wrestling, as much as they have their own scene there in Gatineau. Like there's opportunities still waiting for you to take. It's just it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they're gonna reach out and saying, hey, we would like you to be on the show down the line this year.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's the goal.
You've been world traveled. you have the stuff to make it anywhere an opportunity shows up, and it's nice we do talk a bit before when shows happen, and like seeing how you're building yourself up from from Illinois to now in Texas, and you're traveling all over the world. So I really do wish you the best this year, and hopefully, hey, if AEW comes knocking, you're like, hey, Stephen Wolf is All Elite, and you're like, holy
All Elite Wolf. There we go. Yeah.
So we'll end our conversation here too, and picture yourself as an adolescent you. And if he hung out with you now, what would that younger you feel like hanging out with the life that you're living currently?
I feel as if my adolescent self would see the life that I'm living and not believe it. I say that because when I was younger, I had, like, even now I struggle with mental health, but when I was younger, it was really bad. I'm not ashamed to say this because, like, nobody should be, but, like, I had suicidal, tendencies when I was younger. I didn't really see life being that great, and so being able to see where I'm at now, I always try to model myself of be the person that you needed when you were younger. And I feel like I've been able to be true with that. That's basically like my number one goal in life. Just be the person that you needed when you were younger. And I feel like that the child in me, the adolescent in me, would be really proud and realize that, like, life is worth living, And if I had to see my adolescent self, like me as an adult, yeah, I just cry, hug him, and let him know that everything's gonna be okay. Life's gonna get so much harder, but you are so much stronger than that. So yeah, I feel like young me would be proud.
I have nothing left to give. You have the floor, and where can we find you if there's anything upcoming in your schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dreamwave Wrestling, I just worked there last weekend. The Trick or Treat, that's going to be dropping on IWTV sometime this week. So make sure you stay tuned in that. I'm the sandwich of it, so I'm open and closed, baby. So definitely please check that out. Social medias, I make it really easy on everybody. It's at Stephen Wolf 309 on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Stevens with a PH because I'm fancy like that. And yeah, just be good to each other. Have the day you deserve, and look at my cute puppy. That's really all I got.
What a nice way to end this episode, too. Oh, he's like, yes,
All right.
yes, I need the pets, sir. I need the pets.
He's like, finally.
So for those who are
Exactly.
watching or listening, whether you are on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on Apple Podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Stephen Wolf, and another Wolf in the shot. And we will be
Got the whole
on
pack.
to the next one.